Mobile is extremely exciting for Ogury for the sheer fact that it continues to grow at such a rapid pace. Right? Through our data, we've been able to see that consumers are spending, on average, about 5 hours per day on their mobile phone. Other data suggests that 80+% of consumers have their mobile phone at an arm's length at any moment of the day. So there's no secret that it's becoming, or it has become, or is the most personalized device that consumers rely on for their daily needs, enacting their daily searches and their daily purchases, whatever it might be. At Ogury, we've actually identified a pretty significant gap in the data that organizations have been using up until now. 95% of the mobile journey, which are the activities that consumers are doing across their entire device, are missed by organizations because organizations have created their own walled garden, in effect, by only being able to see inside their own brands, their own brand apps or their own websites or their own and operated assets. Where what Ogury is offering to the table is the ability to see actually outside of that and help these organizations, brands and publishers alike, see more about what these consumers are doing. Because if you can understand what a consumer is doing across their entire device, not just inside one website or inside one app, then you can really understand the human on the other side of the screen, and you can address them with a much more relevant experience. So that's really what gets us excited about the mobile space, the ability to collect and see such personal data in a GDPR compliant way, of course, but leverage that data to not just see what's happening inside your owned and operated assets, but across the entire device, across the entire journey. A key piece of advice that I would give marketers today is to not look at mobile behavior in a silo. Right? So much can happen across a mobile device, whether it's in a single app or on another website throughout the entire day, that you'd be missing the true intention of the consumer if you only are looking at that single data point. And if you start to pull in outside third-party data sources, or you start to pull in just self-reported data, you're going to miss on the true notion of what a consumer is doing if you're only looking in a silo. Again, the key piece of advice there would be for marketers explicitly to ensure that their partners, themselves included, are collecting that consent and are leveraging data that is ethically sourced and explicitly consented by consumers. The advice is different than 2 or 3 years ago, just simply because of the progression in the laws, and the education that consumers now have in the marketplace. Like, it's more and more evident that consumers know that their data is being used or collected, and they deserve the right. They always had deserved the right, but the education and the awareness of what's happening in the marketplace is as such that it's even more important for brands and publishers alike to be more forthcoming with their consumers that they're collecting data from. IAB's priorities in 2019 should center on consumer privacy and ensuring that its members are ethically sourcing their data, and also that the industry itself understands that consumer privacy and consumer consent are key cornerstones to the marketing industry. Right? Without consumer consent and without consumers being educated and being part of the ecosystem, it will erode trust. It'll devalue what marketers and technology and data partners are trying to do in the space, which is create value for consumers. So if consumers don't see the proper value exchange between the data that they're sharing and the content or the service or recommendations that they're receiving, then there will be a real issue. So if there are bad actors in the space, then the IAB should be focused on course correcting what they're up to and making sure that the industry as a whole is doing what's right by the consumer. Ogury joined the IAB Mobile Center because we share a similar focus, right? Our focus at Ogury is to provide more transparency around data collection. We really firmly believe that consumers should opt in an explicit, unambiguous way before any data is collected and also activated on. And IAB shares similar sentiments, where they believe that there should be a push for a federal privacy regulation in the US. There should be more information for consumers about their data being collected, and that, again, bad actors in the industry should no longer be bad actors. So in that context, we share similar focus, and we both want what we believe is best for the consumers' privacy rights.